Good evening, everyone. This is Bill Breeden. Welcome to my Constellation Tour number 8. Tonight we're going to talk about Perseus. Perseus is in the northern celestial hemisphere of the sky, and it is best viewed between November and January. So it's best viewed in late autumn and early winter. So I have my Stellarium software here set for November the 10th at about 9:30 p.m. So it's also set for St. Louis, Missouri at 38 degrees north latitude with moderate light pollution, typical of the suburbs. Okay, let's find Perseus, shall we? Let's start by facing north and look for the North Star, which is always a good way to start. And now this time of year in mid-November, you're going to want to look for Cassiopeia. And Cassiopeia is this W shape where it's actually more shaped like an M this time of year in November. And you want to follow these two stars in Cassiopeia and just continue onward until you reach this bright star right here. Now another way to do it is to look for Capella. Capella is going to be a really bright star to look for, and Cassiopeia, and look for this bright star between the two. I'm going to go ahead and look up a little higher here. This area of the sky is Perseus, and this bright star right here is Murphac, which is Alpha Persei. So let's go ahead and turn on our constellation boundaries. And you can see here, this area of the sky right here is Perseus, and it is located between Auriga and Cassiopeia in the sky. So that's the best way to find it. Another thing that I do when I'm looking for Perseus is I look for this Y shape. There's kind of a distinct Y shape to the stars in that area. You can kind of see, let's turn this off, and you can kind of see, here's Cassiopeia, here's Capella, and you can see that there's a line of stars here, and then you come to Murphac, and then there's a branch this way and a branch this way. So it kind of has a curved Y shape to it. Okay, we've got several deep sky objects to look for within the boundaries of Perseus. So let's do that. The first one I have is M34, an open cluster. And this is the way the sky would look naked eye. So let's have a look through our finder at this open cluster. And you can see it's really a nice open cluster. It's about 1,500 light years from Earth, so it's about the same distance as the Great Orion Nebula. It has a magnitude of 5.2. So technically it should be visible to the naked eye. It will be a little bit of a challenge from the suburbs. So let's have a look through our eyepiece. There's M34 through the eyepiece. Okay, we return back to a naked eye view of Perseus. And let's search for M76, which is a planetary nebula. Now, planetary nebula is not going to be easy to find from the suburbs, so let's make it dark. Let's go out to a dark sky site. Here's a naked eye view of Perseus from a dark sky site. So it's going to be a little trickier to find with this many stars in the sky, but let's try. Let's try to go over it again. So this is a naked eye view. We're looking north, slightly to the northeast a little bit. We're looking pretty high up, and you should see the W shape of Cassiopeia. Follow these two stars to this bright star here. That takes you to Merfac, or Alpha Persei, and that is the split in the Y shape of Perseus. Okay, let's search for this planetary nebula, M76. Not visible naked eye, so let's take a look at it through the finder. See if it shows up here. It looks like you can just see it through the finder scope. I really like using Stellarium, and I'm sure there's other software out there that's just as nice. But this allows you to simulate amateur astronomy from the comfort of your computer indoors. And if you have a situation where you can't go out the way you would like to, but you want to keep up your knowledge of the night sky, fire up your planetarium software and just start taking your time to set up the date and time, the location, the light pollution settings. Dial down your constellation lines and your labels, and just kind of peruse a small area of the sky the same way that you would with your telescope, and it really gives you a nice little break from not. It gives you a chance to do astronomy when you otherwise may not be able to. So that's the point I'm making. I'm probably rambling. Okay, it looks like this planetary nebula, M76, is also known as the Little Dumbbell, and it is 2,400 light years from Earth, and it's right next to this star right here. It looks like it has an HIP number, SAO 22551. And let me talk a little bit about SAO numbers. Many telescopes, many go-to telescopes will have the SAO catalog in them. So if you have the SAO number for a star rather than its name, you can type that in, and your telescope may have the ability to locate these stars for you. So it's just something I wanted to mention. So let's have a look at M76 through an eyepiece. We gotta locate it again. It's not going to let me do it without selecting it. There we go. Okay. There we go. There is M76, the Little Dumbbell, through a 26mm Plossl eyepiece. And you can see another bright star just off to the lower right of it, although that's not the one we were looking at through the finder scope. Okay, no tour of Perseus would be complete without a trip to the double cluster. And with Perseus being a northern constellation, it's not right next to the pole, but it's close enough where Perseus is up about 9 months out of the year. So you have a chance to look at the double cluster quite frequently. So that's something you want to do. We're simulating a naked eye view of the Perseus region of the sky. So let's see if we can find the double cluster. Should be visible to the naked eye, and it's actually quite easy to find. Do you remember the method that we went over for finding Perseus itself? You look for Cassiopeia, this W shape here. You take these two stars and you follow them in a straight line until you come to this bright star Merfac, and that is the split in the Y of Perseus. So halfway between Cassiopeia and Murphak, you should see a faint double knot in the sky. Now, it looks like this might be it right here. I could be wrong. I'm a little rusty myself. So let's see what this is. Let's have a look at it through the finder here. And through our finder scope, it looks like a really nice double cluster. And let's see if that is the double cluster. Let's see. It's just choosing stars. So let's put in one of the NGC catalog numbers for one of the clusters, NGC 869. And yeah, it takes me right to that. So we were able to see it naked eye. Woohoo! This part of the double cluster, NGC 869, is 6,700 light years away from Earth. Let's see how that compares to the other cluster, NGC 884, the one right next to it. And that one is 6,700 light years away. So they are really right next to each other. Let's have a look at this through the eyepiece. Very nice. The double cluster looks really nice at any magnification. It looks nice at high power. It looks nice with medium power. It looks really nice with low power. Because let's simulate a low power eyepiece. It's about like that. That outer red ring is a 2-degree field. So we can go in a little bit more. How about a degree and a half? You can really get both clusters in with a degree and a half field of view. So if you've got 2-inch eyepieces, if you've got 100-degree apparent field of view or 82-degree apparent field of view eyepieces, you really have to point your telescope at the double cluster. Oops. Okay, folks, that's my presentation of Perseus. And good night and good seeing.